Hello and welcome to the program. This is Third Eye Africa TV, your number one crime fighting channel. Crime watch rather. If you say crime fighting, you might be correct because we also we are into crime prevention, investigative reporting, and of course community safety. And this is your number one channel when it comes to crime watch in the whole of Africa. And the program is Code Files, where we spotlight numerous unresolved cases in Africa's judiciary and in Nigeria, of course. And today we will be continuing with the unresolved case we started in our last edition. We wanted to give a different perspective to it from what we had in our last episode. So today we'll be continuing that conversation. But before I introduce my guest to you, I'll just take a pause here. Then I'll give you a prologue and just like an overview of the case we are going into today, which involves the former National Security Advisor to the former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, a case which has been on since 2015 to date, spanning over 10 years, unresolved. And we've started this conversation with a legal professional in our last edition, but we hope to continue this conversation with another legal expert who will be joining us shortly on the program. Please don't go away. Stay with us. We'll be right back to have that conversation.
Over the years, several high-profile corruption cases in Nigeria have been abandoned or stalled, raising concerns about the effectiveness of anti-corruption efforts. Some of the most notable examples include the Halliburton bribery scandal, the Siemens bribery case, and various cases involving high-ranking government officials and former governors. These cases often involve allegations of bribery, embezzlement, and abuse of office, highlighting systemic issues within Nigeria's political and economic landscape. The above concerns necessitated the need for questions about the integrity and fairness of the anti-corruption fight in Nigeria. Hence, the role of the media to collaborate in the crusade cannot be overemphasized. Welcome to the maiden edition of the program
Code Files.
Each episode focuses critically on numerous unresolved cases in the Nigerian and Africa judiciaries. It also does an overview of unresolved cases, their respective prosecuting agencies or institutions, accused persons, the state or level of trial, as well as how, why, and when such cases were last heard. Focus is also beamed on issues around delay in dispensation of justice and abandoned cases. On the program today, we will be examining the prolonged trial of the former National Security Advisor to former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, retired Colonel Sambo Dasuki. Dasuki was first arraigned on December 14, 2015, before Justice Baba Yusuf, alongside a former Director of Finance and Administration in the Office of the National Security Advisor, Shuaibu Salihu, on a 19-count charge linked to an alleged 15.5 billion naira fraud. The charges were later amended and Salihu's name was removed. Subsequently, Dasuki and others were rearranged on May 11, 2018 on a fresh 32-count charge involving 33.2 billion naira. However, the trial was stalled after the prosecution presented only one witness, the investigating officer, who was yet to conclude his testimony before the case was indefinitely adjourned. The EFCC had also filed another case against Dasuki in 2015, in which he was charged alongside a former Minister of State for Finance, Bashir Yoguda, a former Sokoto State Governor, Atahiru Bafarawa, his son, Segiu Bafarawa, and his company, Ahaotu Investment Limited. They faced a 25-count charge bordering on criminal breach of trust and misappropriation of 19.4 billion. Both trials suffered multiple delays due to the refusal of the Department of State Services to release Dasuki on bail despite court orders granting him bail. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) on Thursday, March 25, 2025, rearraigned former National Security Advisor, retired Colonel Sambo Dasuki, before Justice Charles Agbaza of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja, for fraud. He was rearraigned alongside a former general manager of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), Aminu Baba Kusa, Acacia Holdings Limited, and Reliance Referral Hospital Limited. They are being prosecuted on a 32-count charge bordering on breach of trust and dishonesty to the tune of 33.2 billion naira. That is 33 billion 200 million naira. I report. Have you ever witnessed a crime or suspicious activity around you? Don't stay silent. Take action. You can now report crimes easily by sending videos to us on iReport. Record a video and a brief narration of the incident with the location and send to 0701 372 8007 on WhatsApp only. Your action could help save a life or stop a crime in progress. Stay alert, stay safe, be the voice, take a stand. iReport only on Third Eye Africa.
This is Code Files on Third Eye Africa TV, a program designed to spotlight various unresolved cases in Africa's judiciary and Nigeria, to be specific. Today we are going to be continuing the case we started in the last episode of this program, which has to do with the former National Security Advisor to the former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. And I have joining me virtually on the program today Barrister Sarah Ahaotu. Sarah Ahaotu is a legal practitioner and a partner with D.I. Unjoku and Co. She also runs the platform Legal Matters with Barrister Ronke Ahaotu, where she simplifies legal issues for the public. Beyond law practice, she works remotely as a legal virtual assistant, helping individuals and businesses with legal and administrative support. Barrister Ronke Ahaotu, you are welcome to the program with me today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right. I'll just go straight to the first question.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So let's just go in straight to the conversation for today. What is your take about the case involving the former National Security Advisor to the former President, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan?
Thank you so much. On your first question, I would say the Dasuki case is one of the most high-profile economic corruption trials in Nigeria, and it's a case that involves the former NSA to President Goodluck Jonathan on an allegation of over 33 billion naira funds, armed procurement funds that were allegedly diverted. My take on this is that this case shows the highest level of corruption in the country, and also the weakness of our justice system. And why did I say this? It's been over 10 years after this case started, and there's been no headway. I mean, we are neither here nor there as the trial of Dasuki, as it has not come to a logical conclusion, even as we speak. So, and it raises the issue of credibility in the eyes of Nigerians. Thank you.
Okay, yes, I clearly heard you that it has not come to a logical conclusion. Yes, the case was last adjourned during the last court proceedings. So, but how do you see the role of the two prosecuting agencies of government in this matter? I mean, the EFCC and the DSS.
Yes, that is another important point you have just raised. The DSS and the AFCC were actually the agencies involved in prosecuting Dasuki. And if you follow the case closely, right from when it started, both agencies were actually meant to complement each other. But like I said, one we saw, rather than cooperation, what was conflict. When the EFCC was in court prosecuting, the DSS was busy detaining others that granted him bail. And you see that this, if you look at this, it largely affected the progress of the case, because it raises the question of more of a political prosecuting, and the other was flouting court orders. So there was conflict, and it didn't help the progress of Dasuki's case. Thank you.
Okay, if I get you right, there was no harmony between the two prosecuting agencies. But what do you think is responsible for prolonged trials in numerous cases that we have in courts today? What do you think is responsible for these prolonged trials?
There are several reasons for prolonged trials in Nigeria. Particularly as per the Suki case we are talking about today. One of the reasons is filing too many charges. You find out that at some point there were so many charges filed against Dasuki in various courts, and consolidation of these charges becomes very, very difficult, and it delays trial. Also, you find counsel on both sides raising technical objections that end up delaying trial. So while party on the other side is raising an objection, the party at the end of the party election, throughout the year, 2 years, 3 years, there'll be no headway as to a particular trial. Another reason is that unnecessary adjournment. You find out that unnecessary applications will be brought by parties just to delay. Sometimes they do this purposely to delay trials, and you find out that this will not really help the administration of justice in Nigeria. And you are flouting of court orders, where court gives orders, and you find out that agencies and sometimes even governments refuse to obey these orders. There can be no headway, and that's the delay. And as after 10 years, we are still as time we started. There's been no headway due to these factors, due to some of these reasons.
Okay, do you subscribe to the idea of establishing special courts for anti-corruption or corruption cases, rather?
Yeah, I would say yes, with caution. That I actually subscribe. It's actually going to be a good idea. However, creation of special courts for for corruption trials would have to come with strong political will, because if the political will is weak, you find out that it will still suffer the same fate as the regular court. Yes, another thing is adequate funding of this court. If there is no enough to back up the processes, the process, you find out that it will not still create room for speedy dispensation of this. So while I subscribe to it, I would say with caution because to strengthen our institutions, the judiciary needs to be independent, and even the agencies needs to be strengthened. So for special to actually survive.
We seems to be having poor connection there, but I would like to give a follow up to that question if you can still hear me. You know, I had a barrister with me in the studio some time ago on this same Dasuki trial. Several issues were raised by Barrister Isu Guzo on this program. He talked about the manual process in court, recording when a judge has to take record of cases manually, and sometimes other judicial workers as well. I mean, not judicial staff, but from the registrars and other supporting workers in the judiciary can also be responsible for some of these delays, because some of these adjournments we've had cases where a judge is seated and a file is missing. So do you think the system we currently operate in our judiciary is up to date when it comes to applying modern technologies?
I would say a big to that question is technology. You still see lawyers and judges move to clerks of court carry out their functions manually. We need to adjust to the technological way of. We need to technological case management. We need to have electronic filing, virtual hearing. Sit on days it's not convenient to sit. People can sit from their home, and trials will continue. Case management will help speed these cases of missing all these reports that this thing on cloud. And sending them will be very. So I would say we are not up to date. We have not even started. We need of technology matters. And if we upgrade cases.
Yes, I really need to take you back a little to really throw more lights on what we need to do in terms of filing of records, the clerks that works in the court, the judge having to take record of cases manually. What will you suggest? Because I didn't quite get you in your last response because the network keeps breaking. I would like you to go over that again.
To upgrade technical case management system. That currently in Nigeria we still do things manually. We still move files. You find lawyers still moving files manually, and even judges, they move around with files, and then sometimes you hear cases of missing files and all that. So I'll say we need to upgrade and are stored on cloud. Our case management becomes technological. We can have virtual hearing, e-filing, and all that to speed up the process. And even on certain days, lawyers and judges can sit from their houses and attend to matters. And then you find out that all these unnecessary delays, if we upgrade in this area, they will be curbed greatly. And you will not find these cases you find out that these cases like Dasuki's case will be handled properly and speedily.
Okay. All right. So now I'm just going to take a pause now. I will take a quick break, but we'll continue this conversation immediately. But before we go on that break, let me just give you a heads up of what I'm going to be doing during that break. I was in the court some days back, then I came across one of those prolonged cases, and I also had Showore in court on that same day, and he was addressing the press, and I had the opportunity of asking him a question around his perception about high-profile trials, because there is a school of thought that believe that the anti-corruption agencies, EFCC to be precise, are no longer interested in prosecuting high-profile cases. And he gave me his response, and I didn't stop there. I went to the streets to ask Nigerians, cross-section of Nigerians, about their perception of the anti-corruption agencies in prosecuting high-profile cases. Of course, I got diverse opinion about what they think about the anti-corruption agencies in fighting or prosecuting high-profile cases. So when I come back from this break, I would like to have your take on the performance of these anti-corruption agencies, including some of the security agencies, their body language in terms of prosecuting these high-profile cases. So just hang on. We'll just take a quick break, then we'll be back shortly. Viewers, in the past 15-20 minutes, we've been having with us Barrister Sarah Ahaotu, who is a legal expert, a legal professional who has joined us virtually on this program, Unresolved. This is Unresolved on Third Eye Africa TV, a program that focuses on numerous unresolved cases in our judiciary and, of course, across the whole of Africa. And, of course, this is Third Eye Africa TV, your number one channel when it comes to crime watch, crime prevention, investigative journalism, and, of course, community safety is our priority on this channel. So don't go away. Let's just take a quick break and go to the street and hear what Nigerians have to say, and of course what Showore had to say as well. We'll come back and continue this conversation with Barrister Sarah Ahaotu on Dasuki trials. Please stay with us.
The EFCC chairman knows that it is time to replace the eagle in the EFCC with a dove.
Or a chicken. The dove is even better.
No, a dove is harmless.
Broiler chicken.
Yes. Chicken can be aggressive sometimes.
No, broiler.
No, if you go to a chicken and try to mess with the chicken, they will fight. But the dove doesn't fight. They should just replace the logo of EFCC with a dove. Let everybody move on.
Peace.
That's the simple thing. The EFCC no longer handle high-profile cases. They can't. The high-profile people have already captured the EFCC. So the EFCC is incapable of handling any high-profile. This same chairman of EFCC told us that if Bello was not arrested, he will resign. Bello was never arrested. Bello decided after he has gone around and played and gone on vacation, came back to come and play. And he's back on the streets. Everybody's kneeling down for Bello, who is undergoing trial for. Bello is back on doing his third term in Kogi State. Yeah. So what are we talking about? So, but EFCC chairman must give speech. The media must report it. That's what you guys are supposed to do. But my advice once again is that the eagle must be replaced with a dove. And we all move on.
You hear that this person has been arrested for a corrupt practices. The next thing, that's the end of it. You will not hear anything again. You hear that this social person has been taken by either EFCC or ICPC. They put it on the media. They showcase the person. The whole world will see that this social person, maybe the only thing they did to that person is to bring him out, that this person is corrupt. If not, we have not really seen the proceed of what they recover. You understand? And at the end of the day, the people that they put into their net, you won't hear anything again. You hear that somebody took 90 billion, somebody took 100 billions. At the end of the day, you hear that it's coming to do a plea bargain of 40 billion. What's the meaning of that? I cannot tell you they are effective. Yes, because if they are effective, those people the money should be recovered and the people should be jailed. Then we know that they are effective.
Yes, the anti-corruption agencies or anti-corruption graft agencies are doing well for now. Okay? One basic problem they have is that they always wait for the whistleblowers' opportunity. That is where they are banking their work on, whistleblowers, and which is not too palatable. Some tell lies, some whistleblowers tell lies because of hatred, dislike. Some actually say the truth. And if I'm a whistleblower, I need to state categorically, evidences must be there. Okay? So, but for now, I think the anti-graft agencies are trying their best. Okay? Because they cannot just get up on their own and begin to fight somebody. They work with records, with facts, documentations.
The anti-corruption agency, so far, they are trying their best, but the lapses in their fighting against corruption is that the cabals. You know, when somebody steals something, you want to fight them, you always devise a means of fighting back. But the issue is, you needed to get the bold step to fight selection, because what I noticed is that most of their fighting is selective. What I say is selective is that they only grip people that are out of the government, and when they bring them in, it's not that those who they fight for corruption, they don't have a tangible evidence against them, but because those who they are bringing to head responsible to corruption, people are there that they are part of those people that they are supporting the corruption. So they will be isolated themselves outside, and they will now be fighting government back based on what they have as an evidence. So what I'm saying is that if the corruption agency will build up their fighting against corruption, they should be straightforward and they should be well up and doing and hold those who they have responsible to the corruption they will have to fight. That if you go somebody that is stole a government property, you too that is fighting the person, you gather the evidence. It is not when you arrest the person that stole government property or he has found of guilty of any one way or the other of anti-corruption, that it is when you fight him that when you arrested him, that's when you begin to gather evidence. Those who stole government property, who are against the fighting of the corruption, will fight them back. So what I am saying is that they are doing their best, but the issue is that the fighting corruption should not be at people that are not part of the government, because those who stole government wealth and stole Nigeria wealth are part of the government, and if you arrest one person, two people are outside that are programming themselves to fight government back.
They are trying, but they need to do more. They need to put more effort, because the corruption in Nigeria is getting worse day by day. So they need to put more effort, fight more, so that corruption will be completely eradicated in Nigeria.
I don't think they are living up to their expectations, judging by the current trend in the way they carry out their operations. Especially recently, you discover that most of the people they, caught or tried to catch, investigate, at the end of the day, nothing came out of it. So even the case of Yahya Bello is still pending up to now. We have not seen any result. There is no result. There is no effectiveness in their operations. So for me, I don't think they are living up to their expectation of Nigerians and Nigeria at large. So they need to do more for we to feel the impact of what they are doing.
Anybody they find culpable should be punished and the money should be recovered. Not that after you hear that this person he took 100 billion, this one took 50 billion, and that's the end of it. They should jail that person. That should serve as a deterrent to others.
Nigeria should just wake up as if that this country belongs to all of us. It's not somebody that take bribe. It is our country. It is we that will bid it. If you see something, you say something. If you go to somewhere and somebody that you have a legitimate right to access the place and say you have to bring something before you access the person, you tell the person that, look, I'm in Nigeria, I'm not going to access this place without money. With money, I have a right to access this place. Don't pay money. If you give money and you say because you want to access something and you pay the money, you don't know where the money is going to. And by the time the money go to somewhere and you are watching television or you are watching radio and say there's a corruption, it is you that started it. You understand? So Nigeria should be in position to say, okay, this thing you are doing, I'm in Nigeria, not from north, not from east, not from north central. You pick out and tell them that, look, this is a legitimate right. You have a right.
Some of the cases pending today, either they freed the people they are investigating at the end of the day without a closure. There should be closure. People should go to jail if they misappropriate funds. We should be seeing people going to jail, seeing people going to prison for the misappropriation of funds and all that.
If they are doing their best, we could have seen the result. You understand? We need to see the result. We need to see the result. Because they are trying, but the corruption is still going on. Corruption is still going on in this country. They need to fight more. They need to put more effort so that everybody in Nigeria will be happy.
My advice to especially EFCC is to make sure that they carry us along and let them close cases effectively. Let's see what they are doing. Let us see their work. Let Nigeria at large feel their impact.
Everybody who was supposed to be a witness in Sambo Dasuki's case probably has retired. The prosecutor, he was here last week. You understand? I was in detention with him. And he told me something and I will never forget. He said, no, there's no trial that will happen, because if a trial will happen, the people who stole the money will be exposed. You can't try Dasuki without trying Jonathan now. Jonathan should be the first witness. In fact, they should be handcuffed together if they believe money, because you are the president at that time. Dasuki was his messenger. You go and carry messenger, you don't carry the main man. You are not serious. But it's not Dasuki's case that is the problem. The cases of former governors that were filed in 2007, they are here. 2007. They have not resolved them. That's like how many years ago? 18 years ago? Yes. Now the Ojus of Kalu, they've gone to the Supreme Court and come back. They have become senators twice. I think these days, the best way to earn respect is to be arrested and prosecuted by EFCC. People start respecting you, because the moment you come back from there, you start getting chieftaincy titles. They draft you to become governors.
I report. Have you ever witnessed a crime or suspicious activity around you? Don't stay silent. Take action. You can now report crimes easily by sending videos to us on iReport. Record a video and a brief narration of the incident with the location and send to 0701 372 8007 on WhatsApp only. Your action could help save a life or stop a crime in progress. Stay alert, stay safe, be the voice, take a stand. I report only on Third Eye Africa.
From interlocutory injunctions to prima facie or ex parte order, this is where we focus critically on numerous unresolved cases in the Nigerian and African judiciaries.
Dasuki's case revealed some sort of lacuna in terms of our criminal justice system. Okay. You recall that Dasuki was granted bail, and just before he left the court premises, he was rearrested.
One of the laws guiding extradition is that if it is seen or alleged that the essence of repatriation or extradition is for persecution, it will shield those people. There is a circumstance that makes this woman not to be extraditable by Nigeria on the point of intention to persecute rather than prosecute.
My name is Charles Ahaotu. Join me on Code Files for overview of cases, their respective prosecuting agencies, institutions, accused persons, the state or level of trial, as well as how, why, and when such cases were last heard. We also take a look at issues around delay in dispensation of justice. Code Files, a chronology of unresolved crime cases, only on Untold Africa TV.
Okay, welcome back to the program. We are still here on Unresolved on Third Eye Africa TV, your number one channel when it comes to crime prevention, investigative reporting, and of course, community safety. Joining me virtually on the program today has been Barrister Sarah Ahaotu, a legal expert, joining me virtually to take a look at the numerous unresolved cases in our courts and the way forward to, to speedy justice delivery in our judiciary. And of course, our focus is centered on the Dasuki trials, which has lasted over 10 years in our courts today. But let me go straight from the conversation I just returned from a cross-section of Nigerians who has bear their mind on their perception about the anti-corruption agency in prosecuting high-profile cases in court. Barrister Sarah, if you can hear me, what is your perception about the anti-corruption agencies in prosecuting high-profile cases today in Nigeria?
My perception about is that sometimes investigations are not properly carried out before they approach the courts, and this has led to so many cases dragging so well for over years. Like we can see in the Dasuki case, sometimes they are not composed. They just approach the courts, but there's an allegation, and instead of gathering their evidence, they approach the ready to prosecute this matter, and they are in court, and delays will begin to occur over the years. Another thing is sometimes these prosecuting agencies are not even ready to obey court orders. You find out that the court will be saying one thing, and the prosecuting agencies will be acting out another thing. So, and this in the mind of the people, where agencies are flouting court orders, you find out that the citizens will begin to lose interest in the see of some of these corruption cases, like you have in the Dasuki matter for over 10 years. At a time, it was DSS disobeying court orders. At a time, they detained him. At some point, while EFCC was prosecuting, they were. So you find out that they are not working hand in hand with the court. They are not transparent enough, and it raises doubts in the minds of the citizen, and it's not really helping the way the citizen perceive and see these agencies.
Okay, so going forward, what is your what are you proposing to these anti-corruption agencies, including security agencies that may want to prosecute an alleged crime?
Yes, what I'll be proposing to them, and my advice, some investigations should be carried out properly before approaching the court. And because investigations are most times not carried out properly, that's why you see them filing multiple charges in court. It's not just about levying hundreds of charges against the person. At least you are sure of what you are doing before you approach the court. And then this leads me to which will be coordination. They should be well coordinated. When they are coordinated, the cases of multiple charges will not come up. And you find out that when there are multiple charges, you can find out that somebody is standing for a count charge of 30 something count charge, 40 something count charge. It's not just levying them. The thing is, are there enough evidence? Are they ready to actually prosecute on these charges? So most of the times they are not. There are actually little or no evidence against these persons, but they are actually in court trying to prosecute. And so another thing will be obeying court orders. When the court says go this way, they should work hand in hand with the court, with the judiciary. When the judiciary says go this way, they should obey and go that way, because flouting these orders will raise doubt in the mind of people, and it can further delay even the trial. When you keep disobeying that court which you have approached to get justice, I mean, how can there be progress? There cannot be progress. So my advice to them will be to investigate properly, be well coordinated, and obey court orders.
All right, I think it would be a good place to anchor it at this moment, because I've had an interesting conversation with you, even if the signal seems to be. I know the weather is somehow around here, Abuja, as we speak. I can hear the thunderstorm even as we speak here, so the connection is a bit shaky. But I must want to thank you at this moment for finding time, irrespective of your very busy schedule, I would say, to add your voice to this conversation today. But I hope to bring you back on this show in a very short time, probably to take a look at some other cases, because we have endless cases. Some have been there as far back as 2007 to date, unresolved. We have numerous unresolved cases, and I can assure you that apart from this particular case, we'll definitely come back and have a conversation around maybe another case in no time. Sincerely, Barrister Sarah Ahaotu, I want to thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, and this is where we draw the curtain on the program today, Unresolved on Third Eye Africa TV. Remember to keep a date with us, same time and on same station. My name remains Charles Agedu, your uncle on the program. Keep watching Third Eye Africa TV.